Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making pasta. On my scales. Put my food mixer bowl on there. Yay, 0. We need 100 grams of plain flour, which I'm going to just shovel in there. So we're going to need flour again in a minute. What we're after, in the end, is this. Very nice, fresh, homemade tagliatelle. Okay? That's what we're going for. Into this, I'm putting an egg. Great shot. There you go. How manly was that? Put into my archaic food mixer. Now, at the moment, we've got in here an egg and some flour. That's all that's going on. That's all on there. Like so. This is quite quickly. Doing this by hand takes a lot longer, but it is quite satisfying. Unless you're a lazy bloke. It takes very little time in the food mixer to get to this sticky kind of Play-Doh lump, as I mentioned earlier. Take that off there, scoop out the rest of the bits. Okay. The sharp thing out of the way. Now then, as I said, here we have our sticky, it's a bit like sticky Play-Doh. Flour on the surface. Put it in, squash it, turn it over. So it's all quite nicely floured. Get you rolling. Really important. Put some flour on that, because if it sticks to it, it will be a nightmare. Now, it doesn't really matter how much flour you put on, as long as you don't put like buckets of flour on, because it's basically flour anyway, so you're not really going to have to change it that much. Now, what you need to do, when you're rolling it, you want it to be long and thin, rather than round, so don't turn it 90 degrees, turn it 90 degrees. Keep it one way, roll it out, turn it over, because as the mixture stretches it becomes sticky. You need to keep making sure, it's like a big tongue, you just roll it around and get it to lick up all that loose flour. Oops, that's slick. A bit more flour on there, lots of flour on it. Okay, just get it, work it, ends up being long and thin. I'm sure there's some innuendos you chaps and chapesses are mentioning, but I'll leave that to you. Far too busy cooking. Okay, here we have our finished lump of pasta. Now, you then cut it up. If, like me, you value your work surfaces, get yourself a nice chopping board and a sharp knife. Okay, big sharp knife. Be careful with these. You can use a pizza cutter for doing this. Okay, you have to be fairly sober and fairly together. You get the pizza cutter, you slice, 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 you slice. That works quite well. Okay, that then goes into a bowl with, yes, you guessed it, some more flour, because the cut edges on the pasta tend to be very sticky and they stick together in the bowl. So toss them around in the flour so they end up like that, nice and flat. Doesn't matter, like I said. I prefer not to use the pizza cutter, although it can add comedy value. Sharp knife. Now, you can be really anal and make sure all of your pasta is exactly the same width. Me, I don't care. I'm going to boil it, and when it's boiled, it comes out looking, you know, there's some crisps called knickknacks. look a bit like that, all knobbly, and oh, they're lovely. Now you can do it very thin. This is more like a tagliatelle. As you can see, I've just sort of shredded it, sort of. It looks fairly uniform actually. I do this quite often, so I'm quite good at it. He says, hacking it like death of a thousand cuts. And this needs to be cooked for, well, pop it in the pan. I'm not quite sure how long to cook it for. I just pop it in and cook it until it starts, it swells up to 2 or 3 times its size. You have to test for yourself. It has to be cooked, you know, for a good couple of minutes, because it has raw egg in it, and you know that's obviously got yeah, Edwina? Yeah, I'm telling him. It has obviously got health issues with raw egg. Here we go, a bit more flour in there. And that will actually, 1 egg and 100 grams of flour will actually feed quite happily a couple of people. Now you can make, once you've got the flat pasta out, you can make a ravioli, you can cut out shapes and twist it and fold it and make it all look lovely. But if you're going to go to that bother, it's better to actually spend that time, taking a little time making some nice pasta, spending the extra time using those ingredients you put in the ravioli and making a really nice pasta sauce to go with it, because it's just nicer that way. Easier. Right. Well, I hope this helps. Enjoy your pasta.